Hi guys, this is a video tutorial for NeutrinoParticles editor, and in this tutorial we will start to create effect, and I will show you some Emitter guide basics. Let's look at Emitter guide window. As you can see, Emitter guide is divided by sections. These sections have a different background color just to distinguish them easily. And each of these sections describes a different aspect of particles behavior or emitter behavior. You can see particles generation section, lifetime section, start position, change in position, size, and so on. Let's start from the first section, generation. It describes how particles are generated. It has two options, periodic and from past distance. Periodic means each particle shot happen after some period of time. You can see periodic rate equal to 5, so 5 particles per second are generated now. We can change it to 1, and we have 1 particle per second. This value is constant or fixed, and it is not changed during effect playing, and it always equal to 1 particle per second. You can change that. You can see this 3 dots button. Here you can choose different variants of representation or distribution of this value. You can see fixed value. It is currently fixed value. Also, you can choose over emitter time. So the value, this value will be represented as dependency on emitter time, and it will be represented as graph, or you can choose over system time. Difference between these two options I will show a little bit later. So let's choose over emitter time, then press this button, and we can see graph of the dependency. Let's look to this graph and curves editor closer. We can see a graph and two axes. If we have dependency over emitter time, then emitter time will be applied to x-axis, and in our case this is dependency of periodic rate, so periodic rate will be applied to y-axis. And graph shows you a value of periodic rate in each moment of time. You can see that periodic rate will be 0 at effect start, and will rise to 5 first second, and then will left unchanged and equal to 5. Let me show you what you can do with curve editor. You can see a graph which is represented by keys. You can see these dots and segments which connect the keys. You can select a key by left mouse click, and you can select segment. In this case, two sibling keys are selected too. You can move the key by dragging it. You can see that snap to grid applied. You can switch it off with this button. Also, you can move the segment. You can create new keys on a segment. You need to press Shift key on your keyboard and click on the segment. If you select a segment, you can see it can be a linear segment and Bezier segment. So you can make curves and adjust them. A key can be smooth, corner, or broken. Smooth key means that previous segment is smoothly transits to next segment, and there is no corner in key point. You can make this key corner, then you can make this like corner between previous and next segment. Also, you can make broken key, and this will allow you to instantly change a value in this key point. You can move it, you can move two pieces, two parts of this key independently. You can see that key points are defined from 0 to 1. First one is 0 and the last one has x value 1. So graph to the right of the latest key point will be equal to value of this latest last one key point, and accordingly graph to the left of first key point will be the same, will be that value that this first key point defines. Let's see what we can do with these graphs for periodic rate. The simplest case is to fade in it. You can zoom view in the curves editor with scrolling mouse wheel. It is uniform zoom. Also, you can press middle button and make non-uniform zoom. So let's make our periodic rate to rise from 0 to 20 for first 5 seconds. So I'll select all keys and delete them with delete key on the keyboard. Then I'll make first key in 0, 0 position and the second key in 5, 20 position and make linear segment. You can see generation rate is fading in. You can press spacebar on the keyboard to restart the effect. Yes, it is rising in. Also, you can make pulsing of the value like this. First second it will generate with 20 frame rate, then 1 second it will wait, then 1 second generates again, then again waits, and then generates and keeping generates all the time after the latest key point. There is another nice feature in the curves editor. It's loop the graph to the right or loop the graph to the left. It makes repeating your defined segment from first to the latest key point, repeating to the right and repeating to the left. Let me make another one segment to make the graph smooth and periodic, really periodic, and then I'll press repeat this graph to the right, and it will copy this graph all the time to after the latest key point. So in general, I can delete these key points and these segments, and I will have the same result. It will copy, it will repeat this part of graph all the time after the latest key point. Also, we can use this graph, periodic rate graph, to make a delay before emitter starts to generate. For example, I made first segment with 0 value. First 2 seconds it will not generate, and then after 2 seconds it will start to generate with 20 periodic rate. You can restart it to check if it works correctly. Just press spacebar. Okay, let's get back to our generation section. The second option is to generate particles from past distance. This mode is useful when you want to attach your effect to a moving object in your game, or you want to attach this emitter to particles of another emitter. So when this mode is on, emitter will shoot particle every 5 pixels or 5 units. In our case, these are pixels. How to see that in action? We may open preview scene. Here we can see a list of objects in this preview window. Currently it is only one current editing particles. If you choose it, if you select it, you can see origin and widget, which you can drag, which you can rotate to move your effect. So now I move it, and you can see that particles generating each 5 pixels. Okay, let me change it to 50 pixels so you can see the difference. If effect is standing still, no particles are generated. Also, you can rotate the effect, but in our case you will not see the difference. And you can also drag it in this way, so it rotates and moves it simultaneously. You can drag it like that. Okay, also you can make 0 position, 0 rotation, and magnet current location. In this case, when you drop the widget, it will always get back in that magnet location. For the distance interval, you can see that you can use also different representations, different distributions, the same over emitter time, over system time, and it will work in the same way as with frame generating rate. Okay, let me switch back to periodic mode so we can see working effect, and we will move to the next lifetime section. It is pretty simple. It has only one value. It is lifetime of the particle. Currently it is 2, so each particle lives 2 seconds. You have different options, different representations, like random value from 1 to 3. Now some particles live 1 second, some 2 seconds, some 1 and 1.5 seconds. Also you can choose random on graph. In this case you make custom random distribution. You define random values with this graph. So on the x-axis, random value from 0 to 1 will be applied, and result value for lifetime, in our case, will be selected from the graph in that random point. So now all particles live 3 seconds, because from 0 to 1 the graph equals 3. If you divide it and make like this, half of particles will have lifetime 1 second, and another one will have lifetime 3 seconds. You can change that proportion. So now only 1/10 of particles will have lifetime 1 second, and the others will have lifetime 3 seconds. The other two options for lifetime distribution um, or emitter time or system time you saw in periodic rate, and these dependencies, these graphs will work in the same manner. So in this case, at the effect start, lifetime of particles will be 0 and it will rise to 5 seconds in first 5 seconds of playing emitter, of playing the effect. So that's it for this tutorial. You got some basics of emitter guide, of value representations, and you saw how work generation and lifetime sections. So, thank you.